Right now at 10, UW-Madison cutting a major portion of American Sign Language classes. Why students say they feel the university is not valuing this growing language.
And funding is set to run out for Wisconsin's Food Share program. The recommendations being made for beneficiaries by state officials.
And the Packers gear up to face Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers this weekend. How Micah Parsons' performance against the Cardinals could influence their game plan. It's all ahead on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson. Students at UW-Madison are calling for change after learning that some American Sign Language classes would be canceled due to budget cuts.
Our Maddie Heimsch took their concerns to UW leaders to find out the future of the program.
That's why we need to preserve the program so that students can learn ASL and connect more with the deaf and hard of hearing students here at UW.
When UW-Madison American Sign Language students learned their already full ASL classes would be reduced next school year,
it's hard to get into the class. Even the class that we're currently in, a bunch of my classmates were on the wait list.
they took it as a sign to stand up.
Our tuition funds the classes, funds what's at UW, so we need to make our voice heard about what we want invested.
In June, the university ordered all schools and colleges plan for budget cuts of 5%. Messaging about those cuts caused concern that the 5 ASL classes would go down to 3, and one of the 2 professors for the language will be let go from his contract. But Grant Nelsestuen, Associate Dean of Arts and Humanities in the College of Letters and Science, says that won't be the case.
We are committed to offering 4 courses in American Sign Language.
Nelsestuen says only one section of ASL will be removed from next year's schedule. And while that still doesn't reflect increasing interest and enrollment numbers,
Sustaining the rate of growth that we've had is particularly challenging and difficult.
he says it's what needs to be done to fund the program for years to come.
It's a result of ensuring that we can retain a stable ASL program.
Students say regardless of their class schedules, they'll continue to speak or sign about ASL's place on campus.
The biggest thing that us students are advocating for is recognition and visibility of the deaf and hard of hearing community, not just in Madison, but all over.
Reporting in Madison, I'm Maddie Heimsch, News 3 Now.
Maddie, thank you. ASL was taught at UW-Madison for the first time in the fall of 2023, making it one of the university's newest of the more than 60 language courses that are offered.
And turning to the weather now, wow, what a windy night. It's been a windy one with showers. And Alex, how long will this gusty weather last?
Oh, we got a ways to go for the winds to ease on up. All the way through Wednesday, still looking at the potential wind gusts approaching 30 to 40 miles per hour. Even for the first part of Thursday, we could have wind gusts in excess of 20 miles per hour. But take note here, Thursday going into Friday, look at the big drop in the winds. That's going to be an important part of our forecast for frost formation come Thursday night. More on that in just a bit. We also have some showers that are out there on radar 3000 as we speak right now, up on 151 Beaver Dam over towards the Mayville area. A couple of raindrops falling to the ground still here with this weather system. We'll come down 151. We did have a shower between Mount Horeb and Fitchburg earlier in the 9 o'clock hour, but that has since fizzled a bit. But we are still seeing, again, just a couple sprinkles, couple showers out there. Those showers are largely going to stay to the north and east of the I-39 corridor, so the Dells, Madison, Janesville, and areas off towards the north and east. That area will see the chance for showers as they end tonight. Winds again lasting through Wednesday, gusty at times in excess of 30 miles per hour. And that frost is likely Thursday night. A little bit more when I come back about frost advisories and freeze warnings. What goes into issuing an advisory versus a warning? I'll let you know when I come back.
Alex, thank you. 1 person is dead, 4 others injured after a crash in Dane County this evening. About 4:30, Wisconsin State Patrol received reports of a single vehicle crash on I-3990 near McFarland. An SUV heading southbound entered the median. They say it rolled several times, causing the interstate to shut down. 1 person died in the crash, 4 others injured, as we mentioned, and the investigation is underway. Today, Madison police released a photo of a vehicle they say was used in a hit and run that hurt a cyclist. The crash was reported back on October 1st at the intersection of Regent at Monroe Street. And police say this pickup truck hit a cyclist and drove away. The victim was taken to a hospital for their injuries. If you have any information about the crash or the driver, you're asked to contact Madison Police or Madison Area Crime Stoppers. New charges have been filed against the Janesville teacher accused of making sexually explicit comments about students. On September 12th, Adam Teal was arrested and charged with allegedly exchanging sexually explicit texts with an undercover agent posing as the father of an 8-year-old girl Investigators say they seized Teal's phone and flagged over 4,000 items as possible child sexual abuse materials. He now faces 10 counts of possession of child sexual abuse materials. His preliminary hearing set for October 28th.
According to Governor Tony Evers, Wisconsin's Food Share program will run out of funding in 10 days. This is due to the federal government shutdown. The program helps feed nearly 700,000 Wisconsinites. Governor Evers adds that even if the shutdown were to end this week, there would still be delays in getting November benefits to those who need them. The state's DHS secretary recommends those who still have funds remaining at the end of the month should consider stocking up on canned goods and box items. Fond du Lac County District Attorney Eric Toney has officially announced his candidacy for Wisconsin's Attorney General. In his announcement, Toney says that he intends to prioritize public safety over politics, restore state crime lab accountability, and also confront the fentanyl crisis. Current Attorney General Josh Kaul beat Toney by 35,000 votes in the race for the position 4 years ago.
If you've driven in Wisconsin Dells lately, you may have noticed the main roads look a little different. Construction on Highway 12 in Lake Delton and also the Dells has picked up. The proposed plan looks to improve road conditions while also adding lanes to decrease traffic, which has led to the movement of some of the Dells' iconic resort signs.
The signs that have come down are just, that's a temporary thing. They're getting moved back. It's going to be 5 lanes. Will handle more traffic flow. And we think that's great, because ultimately it's going to make Wisconsin Dells safer for the visitors and for the residents, and just a better experience for everyone.
Officials add there's been no effect on tourism in the Dells. Construction expected to last until 2028.
In 1 week, the Greater Madison Chamber of Commerce is hosting its annual dinner. Nearly 1,300 of the region's community and business leaders will gather at the Monona Terrace. And organizers say given some of the current national concerns like AI, tariffs, and the housing shortage, this year's program promises to be the most impactful yet.
We still have the ability, based on our scale, to really solve problems locally that maybe are more challenging at the national level. So I hope people leave feeling inspired, both in the choices and the decisions that they're making, but then also being a part of the larger collective and how we can ensure that the growth that we're all experiencing really benefits all of us.
Attendees will also have the chance to hear a keynote address from Dr. Daryl Fairweather. He is the chief economist at the real estate company Redfin, whose work spans research into housing trends along with employee engagement and attrition.
Wisconsin, one of 19 states where online sports betting remains illegal, but new bipartisan legislation could change that. The proposed legislation doesn't just simply open up the online sports betting market. Rather, it gives tribal casinos the ability to own and operate sports betting online if it is run from their physical location. So that means the popular apps like DraftKings and FanDuel would still be illegal in Wisconsin. But sports fans say it's still a good start.
People are going to do it either way. Like, there's a lot of illegal sports betting that people do, and I think it's better if it's safe and regulated and people are doing it through government regulated entities. Bad things happen when it's not regulated, and so I think it's better to legalize it and actually have it regulated instead.
Right now, Wisconsin's Constitution prohibits most forms of gambling, meaning the state's tribal nations operate the bulk of betting services. Any effort to broaden access to sports betting beyond tribal gaming would require amending the state constitution. Micah Parsons had quite the performance against Arizona over the weekend.
That's true, but as News 3 Now senior Packers writer Jason Wilde tells us, that matchup could be a cautionary tale for Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers.
After he had 3 sacks in Sunday's win over the Arizona Cardinals, Micah Parsons expressed surprise that the Cardinals didn't double-team him more often and gave him one-on-one matchups. We saw how that worked out for them. So I asked Matt LaFleur earlier this week if he's concerned that that will be a cautionary tale for other opponents. Turns out he was as surprised as Micah Parsons was at the Cardinals' approach.
I'm just hesitant to answer that question. But yeah, there was moments that it surprised me too, but it is what it is. Bottom line is whoever is somebody's going to get a one-on-one out there, and whoever gets those one-on-ones, they gotta take advantage of them. They gotta win, and we need somebody to win. Especially when you're in situations when you're rushing 4. Otherwise, the quarterback will be patting the ball all day, taking as many hitches, and inevitably the zone defense will break down and somebody will come open.
We'll see what the Pittsburgh Steelers conjure up to make sure they keep Micah Parsons away from their 41-year-old quarterback. Maybe you've heard of him. His name is Aaron Rodgers. And we'll have full coverage of that and everything Packers on our website, channel3000.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for our Packers newsletter, which delivers that coverage to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay at Lambeau Field, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
As always, thanks, Jason. And the Steelers' offensive line will be put to the test this weekend. Packers head to Pittsburgh to face them Sunday. Kickoff is set for 7:20 p.m.
Next at 10, Vice President J.D. Vance looking to keep the peace between Israel and Hamas.
And the government shutdown is entering its fourth week. The warnings from state officials as SNAP benefits funding dries up around the country. That's next.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Last night, the Senate failed for an 11th time to advance a House-passed measure to reopen the government.
And as the shutdown enters its fourth week, Democrats say they won't budge until their health care concerns are addressed. Erica Brown has more from the White House.
Now 3 full weeks into the government shutdown, President Trump says he's willing to meet with Democratic leaders, but on one condition.
I would like to meet with both of them, but I set one little caveat. I will only meet if they let the country open.
Earlier Tuesday, President Trump hosted Senate Republicans at the White House and continued to blame Democrats for the stalemate.
From the beginning, our message has been very simple. We will not be extorted on this crazy plot of theirs.
At issue, health care. Democrats continue to hold out for extended Affordable Care Act subsidies and reversals to cuts to Medicaid.
The decisions made or not in the next 10 days will determine whether working families can afford their health care next year. And Americans are desperately looking to Republicans, the party in the majority, to do something about it.
As the stalemate drags on, some states are warning the food assistance program known as SNAP could run out of funding, and those enrolled might not receive full benefits come November.
If SNAP is lost, it will devastate this community.
At the Capuchin Soup Kitchen in Detroit, one mother says making ends meet on federal assistance is already a challenge.
It shouldn't be that you gotta go in your pocket later to get cash that's going to short your bill. Well, one bill won't get paid today, just to make sure your children and you have food.
The shutdown also continues to impact tourism in the nation's capital, with Smithsonian museums and other attractions remaining closed indefinitely. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
And the TSA says the longer the government shutdown goes on, it will experience greater staff shortages. The agency says since agents aren't getting paid but still have bills to pay, as time goes on, it'll get harder and harder for them to show up to work. The TSA also acknowledged a staffing shortage caused long lines for security screenings last weekend in Atlanta.
Vice President J.D. Vance arrived in Israel today to prevent the ceasefire with Hamas from collapsing. He joins Special Envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, who returned to the region this week to work on implementation of a 20-point peace plan. Despite new fighting, Hamas top negotiator said today it is committed to ending the war.
What we've seen the past week gives me great optimism the ceasefire is going to hold.
Both sides are transitioning from 2 years of very intense warfare to now a peacetime posture.
The Trump administration says there will not be U.S. boots on the ground in Gaza, but American troops are part of the efforts to coordinate humanitarian aid and monitor the ceasefire.
Winter only a couple of months away, and some people are going to need their extra warm coats and blankets. AccuWeather officials say this season, intense winter storms are expected for various areas. And they say that includes the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, the Northeast. Some cities, including Boston and Philadelphia, are forecast to see more snow than usual. While the winter season officially starts December 21st, the meteorological winter begins on December 1st. And our First Warn Weather team gave their prediction for our winter during their Winter Ready specials last Wednesday.
And that's right, Alex. Where can they find the winter forecast?
All you got to do is go to channel3000.com and click on the Winter Ready page. You're going to hear what AccuWeather maybe didn't say, why we are expecting potentially above normal precipitation in southern Wisconsin this winter. So more on that forecast, just go to channel3000.com. And our Winter Ready photo contest is all ready to rock and roll here. Download the First Warn Weather app and just Once you launch the app, just scroll down a little bit. There is a winter ready photo contest card. You click on that card and you submit your photo, and then you could be eligible to win a First Warn Weather Team snow shovel. And we will debut those winners during Winter Weather Awareness Week. That would be November 17th through the 21st. So that's coming up. And we're looking forward to your submissions. But no snow out there right now. Beaver Dam, we had some showers earlier. Those have since moved off towards the east over towards the Mayville area just behind me. We'll swing down 151. We had some showers in Dane County here earlier in the newscast, but those have since fizzled out as well as this weather system moves off towards the north and towards the east. This is the last of those showers north and east of I-39, headed on out towards Lake Michigan. What's not going away? The clouds. They're going to stick around as we go into Wednesday. Fortunately, I don't have good news there. It's going to be a fall-like looking day across southern Wisconsin with cloudy conditions. The sun trying to make it in. See the green out in Iowa? Not making its way into southern Wisconsin until we get to the nighttime hours. And when that occurs, that allows the heat to go right out to you or right out to space. That allows the temperatures at the surface to cool. Yes, we could be looking at a little patchy frost Thursday morning. I said I'd also give you a glimpse, too, of the latest with additional rainfall chances. We've got to go all the way out now to next week, Monday, maybe going to Tuesday and Wednesday for water. So the clouds will take their time to clear on out on Wednesday. The rain showers are done. But what about the winds? Those winds gusting at times tomorrow morning for work and school. 30 miles per hour. You might need a hat on tomorrow morning. Hang on to it at Wednesday at 6 o'clock, still on the gusty side. But finally, as we get into late Thursday night and Friday morning, calm. And why I emphasize that, that is the perfect ingredient. Clear skies, calm winds for frost formation. And we are looking at the potential of a pretty significant frost event, maybe a hard freeze Thursday night going into Friday. And I'm going to get out of the way of this graphic because sometimes we get this question. Why are my counties under a frost advisory or a freeze warning, but others are not? As the growing season ends, the National Weather Service will deem areas that no longer have the threat for frost or freeze. They won't be under an advisory or warning, while areas that still are carrying on with the growing season, they will still continue to issue frost advisories and freeze warnings until that threat has passed. So that's the reason, the rationale behind that. Eventually, we'll all get there. We'll all have that hard freeze, and then we won't have those advisories or those warnings.
Yeah, frost advisory would seem kind of weird in Wisconsin in December. So
that would be very true. That would be a bit on the troubling side.
Your explanation makes a lot of sense. Joe Thomas on the huddle. Pretty interesting guy to talk to, isn't he?
Super interesting, whether it be his past career or his current career, which you'll learn about on this week's huddle. But now we talk about Wisconsin football. The Badger legend weighs in on Chris McIntosh's statement that he plans to invest more money into Wisconsin football. Next on News 3 Now. The one and only Joe Thomas is the guest on this week's Wisconsin Huddle. And he told me that above his Hall of Fame gold jacket, being a Badger is what means most to him. But the program is in a much different place than he left it in 2006. And the landscape of college football and the ability to pay players is too. I talked to him about Chris McIntosh's decision to increase funding to the football program, something that Joe says is a step in the right direction.
You're not able to just recruit on reputation and all the great fountains that you have in your weight room and the reputation that you have. Like, you can actually pay guys more, and that's why you see the teams like Indiana surging, because they've got a lot of resources. They can pay guys a good amount of money to get them to show up. So I definitely think having more resources to make the Badgers more competitive in recruiting is going to be a big step to getting us back to relevance.
And you don't want to miss this week's Wisconsin Huddle, airing Friday night at 6:30 on News 3 Now. Joe was amazing, talking football and his new Hall of Fame career, farming. We are now less than 24 hours away from Bucks basketball. Giannis and his new look team will look to return to their championship form starting tomorrow against Chris Middleton and the Washington Wizards. Last year, the Bucks were bounced in the first round, and in the offseason, they made some big moves, parting ways with Damian Lillard and bringing in a collection of new contributors. This new group says they're starting to click, and they're ready to prove it.
We're a new team, but these last 3 weeks we have gelled tremendously. Everybody understands the role. Everybody understands what we're trying to do and accomplish. We need to hone in and lock in, and our goal is try to get off to a great start.
I think this last week has given us a chance to really polish up our defensive principles, and just it's giving also everyone a chance to really get that fire going. We got game 1 tomorrow, but a brand new season. It's going to be a good day. It's going to be a great day for Bucs fans, and we're all excited.
But the wait for Wisconsin men's basketball is a little bit longer. They too have that antsiness to get out there. The Badger season starts in less than 2 weeks, and they say this time of year you just can't wait to hit the hardwood.
We're all kind of itching to get out there, play against some other jerseys. We're kind of beating up on each other every day here. Getting to those days, we're ready to get the season going. But yeah, like you said, I think there's a fun buzz around this team. A lot of excitement. I think we can feel it from the campus. So.
And we are itching to hear that final check of the forecast that Alex has. He'll have that next on News 3 Now.
Tonight, Stephen Colbert's all new.
That is it. We are not giving him the security deposit back.
With Michael J. Fox and Jeff Tweedy. CBS Tonight.
Finally tonight, authorities in France are racing to track down the thieves that stole priceless jewels from the Louvre Museum in Paris. Officials say the brazen daylight heist happened in less than 8 minutes on Sunday. They entered on the backside using a basket lift before smashing display cases and taking all of these beautiful items.
It totally sounds like a movie, doesn't it? Including a pearl and diamond tiara made for Napoleon III's wife, Eugenie. As they made their getaway, the thieves did leave one item behind, a diamond-studded crown. Whoops, that's probably the most valuable thing. Authorities have said they suspect the heist is linked to an organized crime network.
But either way, it sounds like it's something
The
out
Mona
of a
Lisa,
movie.
though, safe, right? They can't get near that thing.
No, they can't.
That is heavily protected.
It is in a special.
Alex is back. Final check of the forecast and more of this cold, rainy stuff tomorrow, right?
Cold and chilly stuff, yeah, hanging on tomorrow. Another fall-like day, temperatures only in the upper 40s. Keep in mind, a couple weeks ago, we were in the 80s. I just find that impressive. As we head out towards the weekend, we warm back up to normal. That's where we should be. And then all eyes will be on a weather system next week that will bring some shower chances to the area. Par for course, October showers. I don't have another saying for that, not like the April showers.
No, it's just awful. Well, thanks for joining us at 10. Coming up now, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
And our next show is tomorrow morning, starting at 4:30. You can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. Have a good night.